Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another conversation episode. I am your host, Jason Schemmel. I have with me today a new type of podcast. We have a couple of guests here simultaneously trying to get some different perspectives on our chat today. So I would like to welcome Chris and Brandon. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Chris from FlexTal, I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a bit about what you do.
Sure, great. It's nice to be here. Thanks so much for the invitation. I'm happy to chat today. At FlexTal, we work with companies to really understand what their problems are and help them find solutions through flexible talent. That's how we came up with our name, kind of the Ben Affleck, Jennifer, Benifer. We went with the whole flexible talent, so now we're FlexTal. It didn't work out so well for them, but it's working out really well for us. So we're going with it. We work with customers to really understand. Exactly. Yeah, we see a strong future for us, and we'll just let the gossip channels deal with the others. So yeah, we work with customers to really understand what business solutions that they need to have provided to them, and if they're willing to work with freelancers or gig economists and do that through a flexible talent a solution, then we match them up and we work with them to really get them the staffing that they need in a faster, what we think is a faster, better way to really work with them with the contingent workforce and get them gig workers powered up quickly. We do that mostly with marketing, design, and development teams, but we open up our talent network to any freelancer that can work in a professional basis. We're not construction or like painting and house duties like that, but we do anything that's the office type, business type solution for flexible talent.
Very nice. Cool. And then Brandon, tell us a bit about yourself and what you do with your consulting.
Yeah, so I'm the founder of Brandon Andersen Consulting. I feel like I need to concatenate that into just Branderson or something to get like the Jennifer effect.
There you go.
Yeah, but I do digital transformation consulting and AI consulting, basically helping companies understand where they can have efficiency with automations, with potentially with AI agents or systems of agents to help out their employees. But the whole purpose of it is not to replace talent, but it's to allow people to do more of what they love to do instead of replacing them. So letting the AI and letting the automations do the grunt work while people can actually shine and do the things that people do best.
What you think about, and I've spent 11 years in corporate, like that would have been amazing back then when I was in there. I'm like, if I could just get a lot of this tedious stuff out of the way so I can focus on what I actually want to focus on, that would be phenomenal.
It's the biggest problem that people have is, you're like, well, what things did you think about the end of the year reviews people have? And they say, what, how come you didn't get this done? Why didn't this happen? Oh, I was too busy. I was too busy with all the other crap. Like that's always the excuse. And it's like, well, let's figure out what that crap is and let's just automate it and get rid of it and have it done by something that is not a human and let the humans do something great.
Right. I love it. I love that aspect. So to bring it all together here. So we have Brandon, who's an IT consultant around AI, and we have Chris, who helps companies find ideal talent for their open positions. Then you think about today's society where AI is dominating the business news circuit. Everyone's trying to find ways to implement AI or at least use AI to help them out somewhat. So with like chat GPTs, AI agents, automations, and everything, I'd love to hear each of your perspectives on how AI is impacting the business landscape, given your company's niche and how you serve clients. So, Chris, I would love to start with you on that.
Perfect. Yeah, I think AI kind of was that big flash in the pan for a minute where everybody thought it was going to solve everything. And I think what we've found is that it's really great as an augmentation tool. Even, to what Brandon was talking about, it's not really going to necessarily replace everybody, but it helps them get that extra stuff done easier, faster, better. And I think what we've found is in the flexible talent world, when you can get somebody placed on your team to help you with those extra things, and they can also implement some AI technology and some skill sets around that resource, then I think that's definitely a win-win on both sides. You still get that human aspect with that augmentation. I think a lot of times we talk about it, we didn't stop doing horse and buggy We just did it better, right? Cars got invented, cars go faster, safer, better than they were. And I think we didn't encourage everybody to just stop traveling. We said, let's do it faster, better. And I think that's the tool, and never to think about it as, even like the autonomous car. It's really not quite there yet. And I think you're not going to get AI to be at that level of getting you there all the way for the everyday, every part, every aspect. And I think when you can augment your team and your talent, both with flexible talent who really can lean into a niche, and really offer that, skills gap component, right? A lot of those times you didn't get that stuff done. You didn't get the crap done throughout the year because you just didn't maybe have that last bit of skills set. You're missing that one little piece of the puzzle. And I think, you can augment that with AI and a person with a top level skill set. And then what we found is that we do a lot of the AI kind of behind the scenes and working with the matching to make the right match between the customer and the freelancer, to make it that it's the best match, the best solve. And I think originally everybody was thinking like, how can you just match me with an AI bot? And it's just not there yet. Now, will it be? I think there's, some ample studies that show that there's going to be a long time before we get to that point of just full autonomous replacement of humans. But I think you have to have people leaning into the skills and the technology, and really understanding what it is and how to use those tools to make them go faster, better, further. Just like, again, that car analogy.
Very true. Yeah, I'm sitting here. I'm like, could not agree more. But Brandon, I'd love to get your take on that. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, everything that Chris just said. I mean, there's the approach that people are taking where they're like, oh, people are going to be replaced. It's like, no, it's not going to happen right now. Even if we get to artificial general intelligence, like even then, we're still not going to be replacing people. It's still going to be a helper that's there that's going to help bring, certain aspects to the business. One of the things that we're seeing is that when people are doing, like if there's a knowledge base of information that a company has, a lot of that knowledge is completely unstructured, right? So it's in documents, it's all across the board. All of the information for that company exists in this big cloud of information that we haven't been able to actually consolidate and then make use of that information in a meaningful way. AI has unlocked that. Now we can say, hey, we can give it all kinds of unstructured information. We can query that information, and then we can bring that information back and deliver it to somebody who's in a role where they can then use that for something that they are trying to accomplish, where before they would have had to go through 3 or 4 or 5 people to get all of that information. Now they can get it with one query. And so it's actually helping people be more knowledgeable in their own industries and within their own companies about what's happening in that company. How can they better their clients? And, customer service is one where people always say, oh, it's, chat bots and all that are making a big difference. But it is making a big difference when a person doesn't have to follow a script, or they don't have to go through, like the checklist that's so annoying for people. Now they're just like, oh, here's the problem. Then, we can go out, we can, either query a RAG or something else and pull that back, that information, say, here's actually what's probably happening. And then say, here's the logical next step that we should take. That's not going down this whole checklist that's so annoying. It's like, you can get a better answer to people much faster.
Right. So it's clearer, faster, more detailed oftentimes too. And like you said, it's not just like, okay, what's the next question that you have to ask? Like 9 times out of 10, if you're on like a call center call, God forbid. And then you're like, okay, I have to answer this question. Now this one's going to come up. Now this one's going to come up. And you're like, okay, let's get to the actual root of the problem here of like why I'm calling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Great.
Well, I think unfortunately on that too. That,
go ahead. Chris, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Just wanted to throw in quick. It's also, I think if you take what Brandon just talked about and implement that even on onboarding with freelancers or temporary talent, if you're able to consolidate all of your notes from a project and then run it through a chat GPT kind of thing to do a summary, it just helps people onboard, get up to speed. I think that's, again, getting those tools, dialing them in for the best use for your organization, and then augmenting your team with those tools, and then encouraging them to learn those skills. I think a lot of people are adverse to the AI implementation, and I think as a person who's running a business, just diving in instead of staying away to help your team use those tools and utilize what's out there as a resource, not necessarily to replace everything or to do all of your blog writing through a GPT kind of element, but augmenting and learning those tools effectively, I think helps on so many different aspects of a business today.
And on that,
Yeah, it just
you were
makes
talking about
things
training.
faster and streamer. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and talking about training though, like a training document, like you can basically pull this information down, you can summarize it really well, but you now have an agent that you can query. So if somebody has a question, they can ask the AI agent that question, and so that's something you didn't have with documents before. You couldn't ask a document a question. Now you can ask the whole database a question. You get those answers from a training perspective. And that's a huge win for training across the board.
Absolutely. To be able to have a conversation with the information is incredible, like data analysis and all of that stuff too. AI has made things very interesting in the past couple of years, to say the least. So
For sure.
Unfortunately, with that, we are at time. But Chris and Brandon, I want to thank you guys so much for coming on the show today and sharing your expertise with us. Chris, how can people find you online?
Easiest way is just flextal.com. It's our whole website, and all of our contact information is out there. So FlexTal, FLEXTAL.com.
Yes, not in the gossip section, but actually online.
Right. Exactly. TMZ,
Brandon,
no.
how about you?
FlexTal, yes.
Yeah, no TMZ, no BuzzFeed.
Right.
Yeah, you can find me at it's BrandonAndersen.com. So Andersen is SEN. That's where people get tripped up. But other than that, you can find me there. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn.
All right. Fantastic. Again, guys, thank you so much. And to you at home, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been another episode of Conversations with Jason. Guys, thank you.